Right, so it finished 1-1 against the Oval today.
Yep.
How do you reckon you got on? How was your performance today?
Going off of our performance on last Sunday against QPR, I wasn't overly impressed with my personal performance.
Did you score last week?
Yeah, I did. I got the equaliser, so I was buzzing off that. And yeah, to go on today and not really turn up, it was a bit disappointing. But hats off to the rest of the girls. As much as we wasn't experimenting going forward, we was grafting at the back, which if you don't perform and still get results, you've got to be happy with that.
There wasn't many openings, was there, tonight today?
Not really. I mean, if you had seen last week, it was amazing. And when you compare the two, it's pretty downheartening. But we dust ourselves off and come back for next week. So.
Okay. You and I have crossed paths we were aware of each other's existence, but Team GB against Brazil.
Yep.
And we were both at the game. It was an amazing atmosphere, wasn't it? During these Olympic Games.
Yeah, I thought it was unbelievable. It was brilliant for women's football in general. It was great for Great Britain in general. I thought the girls were unbelievable. I also managed to get to the final of the women's football. And when I compare the two, the turnout for the two, there wasn't much between it. And when you look at what's at stake, you'd expect it to be a massive difference in numbers. I just think it just shows how people and our nation got behind the girls, which was beautiful, brilliant.
And you said you were there for your job. You were there through your job.
Yeah,
at the game.
Yeah? I got tickets through my job, and I was gutted I couldn't stay till the end because I had to. I work with kids that struggle in mainstream school.
Right.
And that a lot of them haven't experienced even London before, let alone the tube. So it was a little bit stressful for them. So I had to avoid as much traffic and stuff as possible. So I had to leave a little bit early, which I was gutted about. But
Are you pleased that the season's got started again?
Yes. We had such a long pre-season. We started a couple of weeks early. And we've had a good few tests in pre-season, which on paper we should be being beat by, but we always turn up and gave them a game. But losing 4 games on a bounce is quite disheartening, especially when you're doing everything you've been asked to do. You're doing it well, and then it's for the opening game for them to go and win 7-1. It just says what the competitiveness is about. I mean, we turned up and we absolutely dominated QPR. Just playing the same way we've been playing pre-season, just being more clinical and having that little bit more to play for. It was well worth it.
And you told me earlier that you went to Cyprus this summer.
Yes.
So just to get away, So it's a very important thing to do, I guess, isn't it? Really, get away.
We train hard all year round, and
it sounds like your job's very.
My job can be.
Demanding.
I mean, I enjoy it. It gets me through, but it is demanding. Of course, it is. And a holiday's well needed, definitely. It wasn't a holiday of doing nothing though. I still trained on holiday. Not as much as the girls back home were doing, but I made sure I did a little bit. But it was nice to get away, and equally as good to get back into the swing of the games. I think I missed 3 pre-season games, which I was a little bit done in about. But when do you have a holiday if you can't do it in pre-season?
Do you think these recent Olympic Games have been a good advert for women's football? I
think the Olympics has been unbelievable. I mean, it's inspired me to get out and do my own stuff a hell of a lot more. When I moan about doing a 6-mile run on a Wednesday night, and then you see swimmers swimming for 10 hours, I mean, you've got to weigh it up a little bit. It does give you that little bit of fight and a little bit of belief that there is always more that you can do to better yourself. And as far as women's football go, I think the women, the GB team done better than the men. I think it was a massive eye opener for the world, not even just our country or our nation. I don't know if you managed to watch the final, but the USA, they were unbelievable. I mean, you got the Japanese that are very creative when they play, and then you've got the USA, which are so disciplined in everything they do. They're disciplined in every area of the field, and that doesn't come overnight. That is hard work.
It was Canada that knocked out Britain, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It was you can't fault the Canadians though. Their performance was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
They're a very strong side, and I'm surprised they didn't make the final, to be honest. But watching Japan and USA in the final of the Olympics, it was great. Brilliant.
Okay, right. Early days. Let's move on. How did you initially get into football?
I got into football. I was always a bit of a tomboy growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and there wasn't really a lot to do around where I lived. I'm not giving you a sob story, by the way.
No, it's fine. No.
There wasn't really a lot to do, so I mean, a lot of the people I grew up with were boys, and for that reason,
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I just fell into it, and I enjoyed it. It made me feel good, and from then on, my dad made sure that I always got the opportunity to play. It was difficult being in a mixed school though, because it's always that stereotype of girls can't play football.
Well, do you know what? That actually leads me on to my next question, because was there a girls' team at your school?
In my primary school, there wasn't.
Secondary?
Yes, in my secondary school we had a girls' team, and we were the best girls' team in the county. I mean, in schools, if you've got 3 or 4 half decent players on the side, you're pretty much guaranteed to do well. But our school team was a really good school team, and we made like county finals and etc. So we had all of that, and most schools around where I was did have school teams for girls.
Who did you support when you were growing up?
I supported. I support Glasgow Rangers.
Okay.
So my parents are from.
Right. I'm fascinated now. What is your opinion about the predicament that they've been in this summer? And because you're not going to see any old firms for a good few years.
No,
are
that's
you?
it. Well, I've heard a lot of people in the public eye say that the Old Firm derbies are the best.
Mm-hmm.
The best atmosphere.
Have you been to one?
I've never been to one.
No.
I've never managed to make one.
Mm-hmm. Apparently it's on the to-do list in a lifetime.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, hopefully I'll get to. I'm really striving to, but it's been unfortunate, majorly unfortunate for Rangers. And I think it's a downfall for Scottish football in general. There's less competition. Celtic are probably even gutted.
They can save money for 3 or 4 years, can't they?
Yeah, they can, but they also aren't going to get that game that they look forward to every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, every other team in the SPL are just, they're just there to make up numbers as far as I'm concerned. So it's upsetting, but hopefully they'll push on, and they've got enough support in the area to, get themselves back up there.
Mm-hmm. Just going back onto the pitch. What position do you feel comfortable playing?
I mean, this season's been a little bit different for me because I've always played centre forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know any other position.
Mm-hmm.
I gave left wing a try once, but I didn't really do much. But this season's a little bit different for me because the way we're playing, it's the first time I've ever been expected to defend from the front. So I mean, I'm trying to adapt my game a lot, but I definitely prefer playing up front. I'd be like a headless chicken elsewhere on the pitch. But I've always said that come the time when I'm not making the first team squad in that preferred position, I will be looking to play in goal. It's a position that I really, really want to give a go.
How did Gillingham find you?
I was actually playing for Charlton at the time. Basically, I'm local to Gills. They were an upcoming club and not really at the level I was playing at. But I got to an age where football wasn't necessarily my priority. 17, 18, that sort of age when I got dragged into a bit of a social bubble. And I wasn't prepared to travel that far for football. The manager at the time, Ian Varley, got hold of that and sort of texted me and asked me to come along, see what Gills was about. And I've never looked back, honestly. I mean, when I first started, they were in the South East combination and they were, just a pub side, if you like.
So how long have you been here now?
I've been here, this is my 4th season at Gills.
What does it mean to you being captain?
I'm captain very circumstantially, but I would not give it up for the world. I mean, it's changed my approach as a player. My professionalism's changed completely. I give I give everything to this squad. And I mean, our captain before, Dan Farmer, she recently had a baby, which is brilliant. But obviously, coming off of that, I stepped up as she went out on maternity, and I've done a good job as far as everybody's concerned, and I love it. I mean, it's brilliant. I'd never considered myself being a captain before, but as far as the experience in our team goes, we've got quite a young squad. Bar 1 or 2 players, but I'm one of the most experienced at a young age, so I find it important that your captain's done a bit, as far as I'm concerned.
What does football do for you, Natalie?
It lets me eat what I want, I can tell you that much. I mean, if it wasn't for the training I did, I would be the size of a house probably. But that's my favourite part of it. But it keeps me focused. It gives me something to do in my spare time. I mean, if I'm not playing football, I'm researching it. I also coach, so that sort of stuff. It's brilliant. It gives you some sort of direction for me, and it's an outlet. If things, if my relationship's not going good or my work's not going good, I know that I've always got football to sort of keep me focused and keep me feet on the floor, sort of thing. So.
FTQ, 5 topical questions.
Right.
Favourite soap opera?
Favourite soap opera? Wow, that is tough. I don't really get to watch soap. I'm not being dramatic, but I don't really get to watch soap operas.
In the
be honest
past?
With you.
Did you ever get hooked in the past?
That's fine. I would rather spend my time browsing the net than watch soap operas because the acting is so poor. But I like.
But if you had to say one?
Probably Hollyoaks.
Hollyoaks.
Yeah, because it's so dramatic, it's ridiculous. It's almost like a fiction programme. But that's alright. I like it.
Favourite song?
At the moment or all time?
All time. I know that's an impossible question to answer, but one that's up there.
The song I'm in the mood for now will probably be Jamie T, If You Got the Money.
Dream goal?
One that I want to score?
Yes.
I would like to score a goal, a bit like Wayne Rooney's goal against Newcastle a couple of years back, from the keeper's goal kick. I chest it back to goal, outside the 18-yard box, and bicey. Over the head kick, top bins. That's my dream goal, and it's got to be a dream goal because it's never going to happen.
A colour you would never wear?
If you had asked me this last year when wacky colours weren't the in thing, that might have been a little bit easier to answer. But at the moment, God's honest truth, there's not one colour I would not wear. I could rule out. I mean, honestly, this day and age, it invites colours. I haven't got a little friend.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, so hang on, I'm going to give you one. It'd probably be pink. Purely because in women's football we're forever trying to fight the stereotype of being girls. Yeah, our home kit is pink.
A country you must visit before you die? Or a landmark or a country? A place you want to see?
Have you ever watched The Idiot Abroad?
After Ricky Gervais, yeah.
Yeah, after a few episodes of that, I think I'd quite like to visit the Taj Mahal. I never thought about it before, but after watching that, I think that would be quite an interesting place to visit for reasons I don't know, but I just think it looks pretty immense.
Okay, well we've got a screaming kid in the background.
Yep.
And this is interview part 2
yes.
Because we had to we were rudely interrupted and kicked
Very
off the pitch.
rudely, yep.
But listen, thanks for being a good sport for hanging around to do
worries.
this. And you're my second guest, and I really appreciate it. And hopefully you can be one of many for the future.
Yes, definitely.
Let's just hope let's give women's football out a shout.
Yes, definitely.
And good luck for the rest of the future and beyond.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.